Nice speaking to you.
Yeah, we've basically come down today because we want Wimbledon to address their white dress code that doesn't take into consideration female athletes on their periods. The reason why we started off with a petition, but the reason why we've come down here today is because we want to make it really known to Wimbledon that the rules that they make at the top, they're all filtering down to grassroots level. And we're already seeing tons of young girls who drop out of sport when they're on their periods, or by the time they hit puberty, they've stopped sport altogether. And we think it's time to try and address those barriers to young girls getting into the sport, and it starts at the top, so that's why we're here.
Yeah, and the conversation around women's sport in general is becoming bigger, so this conversation shouldn't really come as a surprise. We've now got kind of the country following us. We've got more interest in women's teams, female athletes, and so with the kind of progression of that, these conversations are going to just naturally become more important and more talked about, and therefore more people will have to listen. And we are kind of hoping that the Wimbledon board listen and actually do have a sit-down chat and think about the amendments that they could potentially make, because we're not hoping to drastically change the all-white dress code. We just kind of want them to amend it and make keep in mind the practicality for women instead of keeping up traditions, essentially, for tradition's sake. We want it to be ultimately the woman's choice about what would actually alleviate any stress or shame when it comes to competing professionally and in front of the world, because period shame can really affect people's performance day to day, so it's the same for professional athletes, so yeah.
Absolutely, something we've suggested is obviously purple and green are two of Wimbledon's iconic colours. It would be a very easy solution to kind of have the score underlayer in one of those colours, and then it's up to the athletes whether they want to wear that or not. And obviously in that way it's still a white outfit, you've still got that, you're still pleasing the people that love the Wimbledon whites, but you've got this kind of practicality in mind as well. Essentially we want women to be able to focus on the tennis and on the sport and not have to worry about these other factors when they're competing at this level and at grassroots level.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the rules that were made or set in place centuries ago were made by men, and they seem to just have not adapted to kind of the times we're in now, the progressive kind of the just natural progression of society, basically. So it's kind of maybe it's time for Wimbledon to just kind of catch up, and they need to kind of. It's all about also looking after their athletes as well. They're such an institution, and the athletes are well respected. And obviously, the turnout today, women's final, everyone is keen to support the athletes themselves, but it also does come down to Wimbledon also looking out for them as well, and that trickles down to looking at when they're on their period and allowing them to be comfortable whilst playing.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you.